Welcome back to Pokemon Violet Nuzlocke Tour Part 11. A lot of words and numbers. Last time we were grinding and I probably got a little bit stressed. let's just say that. Anyways. With a bit of renewed vigor and less stress, let's run around the world, get our hands on maybe some additional XP stuff through all these dens. That seems to be the approach I want to take. So like there's ghost one here we can take a look at. Ideally we're going to take a look at the dens that, and then if it looks doable we'll do it. That's the logic we're going to use. And if there are any areas I haven't actually gotten an encounter with yet, then that's probably because that's a game to deal with. But a water dragon, that's not too bad, you know. I can handle it. As long as we've got Pokemon of the level. And that's the key issue, I think, when it came down to it last time, was I was just going through my head continuously about, oh, but I need the numbers, I need the numbers, I need the numbers, and it's like, sometimes you just need to take a step back and think. So this is Ghost typed, so Mouse Squada will be able to do well with the dark maneuvers. Shame it's a 2-star, but I think I also should just not worry about the star number unless it's like 1-star. 1-star ones are completely worthless, but 2-star they can yield a decent number of small ones, and 3-stars actually can yield mediums. Even though I'll take another shot at Ogres, because that can yield a decent reward. Certainly weird how Bashmere Festival's been ongoing, and that meant, of course, the BBC being like, oh, we're not going to go and show these political acts, cut to someone being much more blatant as to what their message is about. And it's just like, you brought this on yourselves. People are allowed to side with Palestine because that's freedom of speech. Whether or not you agree with some of the actions that have taken place over the years, which primarily were the terrorist organisation that was 100% using Palestine as a shield. But you know, well, people are allowed to be against Israel and not be called anti-Semitic. Just so happens that there's people that happen to be anti-Semitic more often than not. This is fighting. Fighting, but it's a Dreepy, which normally means Ghost and Dragon, potential attacks. 3-star, Talonflame can do this. So, obviously, I've played a bunch of Persona 5X on stream, and I am having fun, but at the same time, I can see the silliness. Like, some of the dialogue is silly. But that's fine, you know. Persona's never been one to shy away from being silly at times. Whether or not I agree with some of said silliness, like, honestly, I'm not a fan of men in Persona 5. A big serious scenes occurring right after you've dealt with a boss, and then it just ends up being hey, let's just beat the shit out of the guy that we thought died. And it's just like, really? You're gonna do my boy like that? Rather than him, you'll all be dead. Potentially. So, you know. Sometimes it feels like some characters end up being the butt of jokes, even when realistically speaking it shouldn't need to be a butt of a joke at specific points. So yeah, some medium candies. Those are plenty of lovely stuff. But you know, it's like I like Wanda's outfit. I think that's a decent Metaverse outfit. Less so Closer's. That I think her outfit just screams, we wanted to start you with an electric user. Fine, you know? It's like, wow, someone who's sporty has electric attacks. Surprised she doesn't have any physical attacks other than just your melee weapon. You know? Because it would be entirely on brand. There's a glass one over there. We'll take a look at it. Obviously, the current objective is to get my team prepped for Ortega, and obviously then I'm going to have to prep my team for the types of gear we fight, and then for also then taking on Aerie and her fighting types. Hooray! Oh, it's a Curlia. They're quite weak. Oh yeah, I have a especially offensive Talonflame. Aircut's actually not a bad option to use then. Pardon me, it's just Talonflame tends to usually be more physically offensive. Or at least you use more of a physical moveset. I did. Now, anyone who asks, Chris, what did you do to de-stress? Oh, simple. Oh, that's good. That's what I do. I admitted to that during some of the other stuff that I've done. Like, at the end of the day, I play Mass Effect 1 all the way through. All the way to de-stress. It's just fun to do. I have fun doing it. Has calm mind. Maybe an acrobatic would be better because it's double. And hooray for the paralysis! See, that's right. Paralysis 100%. Ooh, flat to stop me from using physical moves. Don't very much against Kirby. It's expensive, even though it is a mid stage, so it isn't really all that good. Honestly, the waltz line kind of falling down again. In terms of actual stats. Because waltz is pitiful. For when you get in the game still, it's like, it's still pitiful. To be run Gen 3, you don't actually have an attacking move on it for a good little bit, so you know, at least it's got that logic of, well, you're going to have to switch train it, so its stat line being not the best, but it has no excuse, other than because they didn't want a mid-stage stronger, because, you know, something that would probably be not so nice. Wait. Let's... Excuse me, yawn. I am wide awake. I may have had a few issues with sleep during the night, but I think it's because yesterday yesterday was actually really humid, and it's like, I'm glad that the temperature's going down, but it doesn't matter if the humidity then proceeds to go upwards, because then it does a combination effect of being high temperature and really humid. And so even if you can survive the heat, I could ignore it, but what is it? It's a Litleo. I'm better off using a flying type that oh, that's not a fire type I can use. Better off using a fire type that a flying type that isn't a steel type, because fire actually does hurt steel. So we farm all the candies, we level up fungus to well, we want a moongus, but we also want it to be. But we do also want it to have access to spore. That's the ideal thing, because then we can do sleep shenanigans with it. Oh no, I can't hit my berries. No. I think I got the exact same line of like it's always fun. You know what? You know what? With one up, I've definitely tried with a Pyro on other files. It's fun when it's like, oh no, there's a water type Pokemon. Oh, but I've Sunny Dayed, and so I have this solar beam at the ready. Just press and it dies, and that's fun. That's fun. It's fun when someone doesn't expect it. Specifically, it's just like they just mind their own business. Oh, they kept their fires open. Perfect. I'll just hit them with a move, and it's just something. No, solar beam. It's just like, oh no, because solar beam actually does help against a good amount of the fire type's weaknesses. Which is what you want. You want to be good. You want to have coverage. That way you don't die necessarily, and that's good, because if you can kill, then that's great. I'm not saying that I've done the best ever, but, you know, it's all about trying our best. Diglett of the tunnel. Why did you get in the way? I am in the wall. Where's my Napoleon? Is it in the wall too? Oh, that for a sunstone. Ah, goddammit. Can I reach? Oh. We're able to. Hooray! Ah, it's a Houndour. Houndour wielding the power of normal, meaning will throw in a fighting type. Ugh. I also want to check a few of the Kami dens as well, just for variety potential. But it's all depending on what we find, really. It's a shame that pretty much I'm gonna need a full amount. I'm gonna basically need to like level most of my Pokemon just to have a way of different. Like this Pokemon will be good for that situation, that Pokemon will be good for this situation. I thought it would have. It's gonna be a real shame, but I will. Make do what we can. I've got a box full of Pokemon I can level. I think that's something. So, like, worst case scenario, I end up with like one Pokemon left after the fight. It's like, I can fill up the team. As long as I've got a Pokemon that can help grind on the majority of the stronger Pokemon for XP game, and you know, it's not the end of the world. Could be end of the world. The BBC would something like to think it's the end of the world when mentions of Israel occur, but you know. I will always laugh at the face, in the faces of people who actually legit think the BBC is impartial. The media as a whole is partial. When the majority of your media is owned by the likes of Rupert Murdoch, there's always going to be that slant of whoever he likes. Because that's how it happens. It's like all the years where Tony Blair was in power, Murdoch liked Blair. Rupert Murdoch liked Tony Blair. So he was always positive about him. Then turns round and starts bashing Labour the moment it became a good idea to do so, aka when Blair left. We even saw We even saw a small snippet of this sort of behaviour during the election, the previous election, where it's like, because Sunak was just that unpopular, where all the newspapers were like, yeah, Sunak's got to go. And so that put the perspective in the head. Anything's better than a Conservative. And that's how that election went. Next election could very well be the media will be like, man, anything but Labour or Conservative, and it could lead to fucking Nigel Farage. I hope it doesn't. I would love a random ass, ooh, drill one, random ass just out of the blue, just a different party than you'd think. Because reform would be what would be expected based on how the media's been going on about it. What would be more fun would be, well, obviously I would prefer, in terms of political parties, I would prefer either Labour staying in power, maybe Lib Dems under a good idea instead of, hey, let's help the Conservatives out and then burn every bridge possible with those that voted for us previously. Damn coalition government. And obviously the Green Party. Like, I think there's plenty of different parties out there that could easily take control, and it wouldn't be a bad thing. Or at least it wouldn't be as bad as going as far right as humanly possible. Also, the Conservatives saying reform is more left than them is not a race or a bottom we want to participate in, is it? Who knows? Maybe it is actually. Maybe we've all decided that it's time for us all to die. Yeah, who knows? Right, that's a 4-star. Ooh, 4-star. Hey, we've got flash cannon now. We've got it's pop. It's got the fairy thing going for it, so I mean, obviously Revel Room is an option as well, but it is also Lamola. So I think we can challenge along with Empoleon. Because still water, any water moves it has. 4 times resistance? Haha. No, I'm surprised that Game Freak haven't tried coming up with gimmicks that would boost weaker Pokemon. Because the issue with the idea behind both terrorizing and maxing is at the end of the day, they don't really boost weaker Pokemon necessarily, because it boosts every Pokemon. So the weak Pokemon are still weak, and then the strong Pokemon are even stronger. So, how even Megas at the end of the day didn't help as much as you'd want them to, because I got 8 flash cannons on, I only get 10 in total. Go! Because yeah, it's not able to hurt me at all. Ah, there we go. And you're dabbling around it. Oop. I tell water. I tell water. That's not. Oh well. It means I've lost my stab, which is silly of me. But but once it's below half, it's mine. So I'm gonna do a surf and see just how it does. It feels not really good because it's maybe we'll do a little bit of okay, ooh. come to the onslaught. And it's definitely below half. Assuming we don't hit ourselves in confusion. We do. I was using out for that. We love tanking. Right, we weren't confused. Ah! Hey, we won! Ground catch. That was a 4-star wave, which is good news. That means we can do some of them, and we get a lot of candy out of it, and a load of memes. Yeah. Prefer more large, but we'll take what we can get. We'll definitely take what we can get. That's the point of doing these. Trying to do our best so we can succeed. Besides, this knowledge in mind is, besides, we've farmed 12 medium so far. Oh yeah, we're trying to level up Glamora and Fungus. That puts it at 41. It doesn't get... Spore is not got until... Oh, I'm computer, aren't I? Let's see. Fungus. Because it's quite late. Spore is level 48. Unless we evolved, which yeah, any level will do on that because of its evolution level, would up it to 54 requirement. Okay, yeah, we're going to go for it being a fungus first and foremost then. And of course, toxic is another thing we get access to, so I'll have it over stun spore. Venom shock. Rage powder. Rage powder is a bug maneuver where opposing Pokemon aim only at the user. That's a double battle thing. We'll not learn it. And then Fungus is trying to evolve. Except it didn't. Because I stopped it. Let's use the small ones on Glamora. See if that does anything out. Ooh, level 40. And it was Lump Power Jam! Hooray! Which is gonna be better than Rock Slide. Its special attack stat is amazing. Like, I will keep self-destruct on there for the moment. I am not going to admit to wanting to use it because that would be dumb. But, you know. Let's farm a bunch more candies then. We're gonna need a lot more. Lot more. There's a ghost one there. See how long loading times take when it's just across the sea sometimes, you know? Well, we're held to just make sure power and stuff are not taking any damage. Although I could also, like, give Fungus and Everstone until we're definitely, yeah, in case we do battles, could actually. No, I don't think I've actually got an Everstone. I have a Lucky Egg. It might be higher up. Right. Into the area tour. Ooh, 4-star Masquerain. It is a flying and a bug being a ghost. My best shots against ghosts are on Pokemon that maybe not the wisest to use them. I mean, to be fair, a pure ghost is weak to Ghost and Dark. My dad only uses on a Pokemon that does not go in front of Masquerain. That's the point I'm making. And I mean, obviously a Ghost type would obviously do fine. Just, my one's choosing to be more physical. I don't think probably not good to be. Right, well, that's lovely. Right, let's see. There's another one then. There's some electric ones we can potentially deal with quite well. Away to XP Candy. Hello, Taurus. Low kicks. A low kick is normally it's bug something. I don't recall if it had a type to it or not. Low kicks is bug dark normally, so that's point there, and it tends to have bug, normal, dark, that sort of stuff. Okay, so ideally that means Gastrodon will do fine with its variety of ground. It's 3-star anyway, and it's Terror Electric. Really the only weakness we can hit is a ground weakness, because Electric only has a ground weakness. Makes it much more brutal when you fight a Electric trainer who has Levitate on the side, you know? So it just makes you go, oh god, no, to the idea of it. You know, we're seeing the same sort of Pokemon again. I swear, is it area based? Anyways. Another one. Trying to figure that one. That was our physical attack. Oh no! That's all it is. Huh. I'm going to do maybe a little bit more. He fell for the taunt. Silly to be honest. No, wait, no, we can't catch it. Mommy was about to, like an idiot. So, you know, some medium candies. Hooray, and some noise. No, it's all neat seeing people, seeing, new, like, content creators appear and all that, but, you know, when the first words I see is, art done by a person who makes a bunch of art about Blue Archive, just makes me go, you know what, I'm fine, I don't need to participate in this stuff. I honestly, I liked Senless Zone Zero as a game, but like the community's online. Like, you drive away all the people who aren't going to be needing to get their hard drives checked, and you're going to just end up seeing a community full of people being really, really horny over children, and it's just horrible. It absolutely is horrendous to see. Right, okay, well, this is a 2-star one, so I'm just gonna murder the Night Slash. A Meditator that becomes Psychic, that's not different at all in the slightest game. It really does. That's really how it works. Communities online. If you drive away the more normal people, you're just stuck with the weirdos, and then people will just look and go, "What a weird fan base! But it's just full of weirdos. Don't be like them." And that sucks. Because it means that all this stuff will come up. Wow, we're fighting a 2-star Meditite with a Camwork, Dragonair, Lycan walking Mouse Quadrada. What the fuck did this Meditite do? And that means that random AI trainer Dylan has a dragon. Train it a little bit more and that could be a potential dragon. Nice, cool. First ever Gazoo. Ooh, let me give us one. I think I'm 2-star. Charge! Charge at the Sarge! On the barge! How dodge? No, that's not a word. Let's maneuver maybe over to a different area. We can check this electric one. I'm a big fan of... See, I say that I'm not a big fan of pointless grinding, and then I do that with my Final Fantasy a whole bunch. I feel like a hypocrite, and it probably is hypocritical. Because that's how it works. Similar about to Earth Power, it. Oh, I'm going to murder my internet. Honestly, that disconnect and reconnect that just occurred. I don't know if it affects anything on the stream. Hardly ever does from my perspective. Don't know how average bitrate serious highly recommend bitrate. What? Okay, I should probably actually hit a move. How can that be average bitrate that would be? Recommend use a stream bitrate of 2500. Quite low. Well, if it looks like shit, then that's because YouTube's recommending it. So, you know, if it looks like shit, then that's fine. Anyway, we can't catch it, but well, so the other is retweeted. Again, seeing the dragon now. Probably shouldn't waste my time with some stuff, but I think because the internet service provider that I'm under, I don't know, either got bought out, went under or something, and now it's changed to something else. Like the router's still got the name of the previous one, but the change has occurred, supposedly, or the change will be occurring. And ever since that, I've seen these disconnects randomly occur, but it's like for like a brief nanosecond. So I have no idea if it's actually doing anything. It just keeps happening. Ice type affair with the Indent. So we'll send him Bormont. They can punch an ice. A normal type that's turned into an ice type. Good old close combat. Close combat. Doesn't do stabs. Poor Chris. Always picking close combat. And then I get hit by like Brave Blood or something. Is it me or is the primate using a ghost move? Oh wait, no, hang on, it doesn't matter. It's territory. I'm done. Don't mind me, just being done. Ooh, body press. We'll hide. There we go. That squirrel gets to run away. Well, we got a bunch of XP candies, hooray! So how's everyone enjoying the fact that it's a Monday? 4-star Raichu. We'll take it on. Besides, just one's immune to it back here. This is lovely. Of power! I love all these. Hey, let's lower the physical attack moves that get used. That's Line Tap. Not very effective though. Good old ground fighting. Gastrodon, do the thing! Dodge the tail hat. That's enough power. Let's twain. That makes sense. Oh, hard. Let me show I into water, which would then die. So we'll just have to rely on using our ground maneuver. Maneuver unterritorialized. Oh no, the Bronzong went down. No. charm my intent. Oh, we could have actually then. It doesn't have a electric move or something. Well, anyway, we can make a power rhythm. Do something a little different. And of course I get the Omni Boost. I'm not even, I can't even be mad about that. Ooh, a large. Quite a nice amount of mediums. And some berries as per usual. Solar Beam! That will only be useful on a... if we had, say, oh, I don't know, a way of guaranteeing that we'd be able to do 2 tons of that. But, oh yeah, Spore. A way to guarantee that we'd be able to do 2 tons. Huh. Well... I'll have a clear smog. I'll have Spore of a clear smog. I like the idea of maybe doing Toxic. And now we shall evolve Fungus, now that it has gained the Spore that we were looking for. There it is. Look out! It's Among Us! I guess it's Among Us or something. Some kind of joke about that, which everyone fucking did. But to be fair, this one actually does mimic Pokeballs with its mushroom on its mushrooms. It's a nice way of doing a little bit of an appearance to it all. Right, with that now done, let's give them more levels. Acid Armor. Oh, sorry, Acid Armor. Fucking Americanism. Some of it. Where's the U? Sharply boosts defense stat. We'll have our self-destruct under the proviso of let's not blow up our own Pokemon, shall we? Right, okay, well. Oh, what? We can make the Pokemon even stronger. Wait. This is useful. That's a little lower level than the others. And Ortega's team is of the level 50 range, meaning it's 5 levels. It'll be 5 levels over. Just go into it. So we haven't even gone to the Pokemon centers that would lead us to Ortega yet. We probably should do that then. Because looking ahead, there's the Azumarill, and then everything else is going to be weak to Weatheroom. And the only reason why we can't necessarily, and we can't set up necessarily because of the charm plays that can come up. But anyway, while we're on that, we can always normal gumshoes galore. Actually, Volutra is higher level, but much lower attack, huh? Power creep potential is there. that a setup I would use against the Gumshoes? Anyway, Pokemon, question that. Of course, we are lowering our own defense in the process. Ooh! Gumshoes as Trailblades. That's neat. That's actually real neat. Alright then. Doing it a good move. Because it ups its speed, so it starts to get tons of fun. Where's the rest of the attackers? No, not the stat changes and abilities affecting my side. Stab takedown. So, the way that the Pterodons work does auto revive the Pokemon. So, yeah. Well, it's already in the box, it's not like we've been using it in battle. Right, let's make sure we're heading the correct way, because I might be heading the wrong way. Yeah, I'm heading the wrong way. Because there's this one here. We'll go to this one first. We'll make sure that we've gone through and gone through and actually made sure that we've sorted out the Pokemon Center. Because that's just a random ass Pokemon Center, really. Haven't really been going in that direction. So. Full store. Oh, small once. Yes, I'd like to heal my team, please. Doop, 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 doop. Oh, there's a Miss Magius, Magius, outbreak there apparently. Huh. That's kinda neat. Oh, hello, Zidoddle. No. He comes waddling over. You can't make me hate the ice type. You really can't, because there's too many that I do like. It's just... Can Game Freak stop using Avalok for like 5 fucking seconds, please? As like an ice type example, because Avalok's not a good Pokemon. Like a Brawler and the group of Zidoddles. Such a mismatch. But anyway, welcome to North Province Area 3. Did we already do an account? No, we have not. We have not done that. I don't know why I'm healing, other than to set the fast travel point. So, yeah, because it's North Province Area 2 we haven't caught in, nor North Province Area 3. So we've got like 2 encounters left. Because Area 0 is after all the other fights, and the Pokemon League area has probably not got anything worthwhile at this point, or we've already caught. So, yeah. So we make our way out of the snow part and into the grassy part, the flowery part. And if we're lucky enough, we can fade the sunflower that I just saw. Yeah, I'd rather not encounter a sunflower. That would actually be the worst encounter ever. But we've skipped past the base for the time being. Simply because we can do that. What's in this then? Ah, Dutch bun. Still Dutch bun. Worse, right? But we already got Dutch bun, so. Pavilion! Oh, look at it. It's like graceful with its wings. There's flowettes about, it has the white stone, you can get it to become flawless immediately, so yeah, you know. Dupe's claw sadly stops us from just grabbing Sylveon here. I almost ran into a sunflower. Go me. But of course there is the beach bit. So, you know, Ice Cube. Gastrodons, which we've already gotten. So maybe Flower. Not. Flower into Florgus would be a fairy type, which would then be good against the last Team Starbase, just because it would have that fairy aspect to it. Like obviously not good against. Oh, why did that pop up? Obviously not good against the Toxicroak, but fairy hits super effectively on the Parsimeon and the Annihilate, and possibly the Weather Room. So it wouldn't be the worst idea, whether to have like a pure fairy. Sadly, yeah, Lucario also doesn't do well against because of its steel typing. So, oh, I am dreading. Right, let's catch a Floette. I think this is the best thing we'll be able to encounter in this province. Because this area is not that big. And while the game, or even the tracker might be like, actually you can encounter these things, it's like, but what are the odds? Like, would I have to be running around trying to not die to lose the encounter to random sunflowers for 10 hours? And there we go. Floette has been caught. Floette is a Pokemon. Brilliant wording there, me. But no, Floette as a Pokemon came about in Gen 5. This one's an orange flower. We can find white flower ones in Area 0. Otherwise, there hasn't really been a way of finding them as white ones as often. But there's plenty of different coloured flower ones. Lovely stuff they are. They utilise a shiny stone to become Florgus, which we saw in the Psychic Gym become a Psychic type. So yeah, obviously against Poison and Steel, horrible. Against most other things, not too bad when it comes to Fairy type. Of course, obviously it murders dragons. So yeah, you know. And it utilises the flower to use grass moves. Like Petal Blizzard there has, and Moonblast. Oh, that was a special attack down. Oh, bloody jolly. Just, it's always that. Every time it's like, oh, you know what, this special attacker has some nice stuff to it. Jolly happens. And it's like, I like speed, but I like the idea of speed up on a Pokemon that I would want speed on, a bit more speed on it to be when it doesn't hinder their good attacking stat. Right. Let's see. Flash Cannon is useful. I think I'll have to set up that the way I have it set up is with Weather Room there, and then maybe Tinkerton there, or maybe Bronzong. I'm thinking Bronzong. We'll have Bronzong up third, because that way we can handle the potential of the fairies around the base. And so, yep. First things first is this bit, where Mr. Hamilton happens to be around. Yeah, I am an adversary. That's correct. Before any raiding the base, though, we do have to fight Mr. Harrington in a Pokemon battle. So let's hope his team doesn't hard counter me. Oh no, it's a Dark Fairy. It doesn't outright hard counter me, but it still could hurt. Actually, no, not really. But anyway, poor Morgan had to be a flash cannon. Mr. Harrington choosing to go for a Galar approach to fighting us with Galar fairies. Although this fairy is part psychic, meaning that Surf probably might be more effective. Oh, maybe not. Oh, then again, special. Then again, it's funny his special attack, so that's on me. Really, in terms of Ortega as a whole, it recommends us using Born Song in this Mother Room, makes sense, and the Azumarill is weak to Poison, Blast, and Electric. Ideally, that means we start with Among Us and just murder it with the Grass Weakness, which means having that up front, which isn't the best option. Oh, but that's why it's got bounce. It's got bounce's coverage. And Among Us would be slower. So, I mean, we can just tank all of its moves with Empoleon. But its water typing does help it. Does help it out. And then after that, everything will be weak to Steel and Poison, so... That's probably the logic, is like, I've set out these different strategies that may vary. The grunt realizing, oh hang on, I'm gonna do my job. And Cassiopeia ready to furnace. Wait, that's a White Flower one. I thought they were available in Area 0. But there are solely White Flower ones in Area 0. As in Area 0, that's the only one you'll find. Or maybe not. Maybe you can find other flower ones. I don't know. But there's a lot of Florets in Area 0. You just happen to you can find in the early part of it. There's a lot of Pokemon that just end up being in there. So, although obviously maybe Among Us wouldn't be a bad idea being up front, I would have to maybe change it a little bit because it doesn't have a poison maneuver. Actually, yeah, that's the issue I have. Actually, I've got Giga Drain and Synthesis. What could it remember? Yeah, Solar Beam. Unless I'm setting up Sunny Day, that's not happening. We can actually give it Phenoshock, which then means I can Toxic a Pokemon and then Phenoshock Murder. But I'm probably more likely to use Spore, which means Hex would be the better move to have. This wouldn't be what would be necessary for... We'll go like this. We'll challenge now. We'll challenge with Empoleon, Bronzong, and Thingy up front. And go from there. Forward! Time to fight 30 fairies around the area. Using the power of my... Empoleon can take this one. Shiny Reverie, murder. I love you, Shiny Reverie. Have I used Reverie in the past? I'm not Revering came back to me before in Pokemon. Lots of Mimikyus! Like, God, where's the sign this way? This stuff. Yeah, this one's quite simple actually. I'm gonna need to spend probably 10 hours preparing for Aerie. Because, let's face it, steel types that we're using right now, not so useful. Like, a complete switch up of what I'm using would have to be required. An area like this that allows us to see some Tellias with a Garnifor. Oh, lovely. Garnifor. And now it's dead. We killed it. The idiot, sending out Tinkertink. Oh no, I'm so scared of the little tiny ones. Leveroom, we did it, we defeated 30. Don't need to kill the others. Leveroom's hunger can't be asphyxiated. Satisfied. That's probably a bad word. But in comes the Ortega and his non-shiny Leveroom, but it is pink. Well, the standard build part itself is pink, and therefore I guess that means it's better than mine, yeah. Because I don't have a standard build. Black looking face. Anyway. Well, I mean, the fairy type is very much about cuteness. When you think fairy, you'll think of cute Pokemon. Sylveon, Azumarill, which gains the fairy typing. Clefable's cute. Zombies, quite cute. Basically, most of the time when I think fairy, yeah, they are rather cute. So anyway, hello there, Azumarill. I hit you with an air slash. I wonder if you do an air slash. And how much do you do with an upper tail? Not very much, actually. You hit a water type with a water move. Ortega, I honestly think you're not realizing what you're doing. I'm just using air slash for the fun of it. I can heal if I need. I will now need to heal because that was a quit. Say, or maybe I can flash down. Maybe I'll switch to Weatherroom because that's what I was thinking of doing. Switch to Weatherroom and then just still poison my way through it. Ah, the Detach Bund. So I should have pressed the fastest button. So we haven't played on it front at the moment, but we're going to be going to Detach Bund, which has coverage in Mudslap. That's it, it's Mudslap. Like, honestly, that just means that all my type team besides Mungus is weak to that, so let me put it as a frame of reference. We'll use a potion. We'll use a Hyper Potion. Mudslap has 100% chance of learning accuracy, but is that what they'll do? No, they go for a Crunch. Interesting. You have Mudslap on your moveset, right? Okay, so the game decided to go with the Crunch. I mean, I'll take it in Empoleon Sweep. Let's go. All this preparing in between in amongst the duration of 2, maybe even 3 streams was completely pointless. I could have just gone in with Empoleon and win really well. One shot of Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff, my boy! No! Or girl, if that one's female. No! I just killed my Guildmaster. Yeah. Mystery Dungeon was a fun spin-off series. Ignore that I only played like the first 2 entries. Ah yeah, it starts with a Misty Surge, so he's automatically going to Misty Terrain. The mist disappeared from the battlefield. Well, that was a fun time of being in Misty Terrain. Bravo, you weird weather room. The Misty Surge means Misty Terrain, but then still Waller got rid of it. Or something. Someone got rid of it, so... Magical Tour. Not very effective. But it caused confusion, because of course it fucking did. Okay, maybe we'll swap then. Or maybe we won't have to. Okay, yeah, we'll switch to Weather Room. Weather Room as a whole is immune to poison and resists everything that it has. This one has. And of course, it's all shiny. Yes, hit me with the fairy move. Fuck your confusion plays. Has Confuse Ray as well, so it's just able to confuse continuously. We'll go for a poison jab. Yeah, poison jab. Well done, Weather Room, you did it. We beat Ortega, which means now our objectives outside of the end of story stuff is now Tatsugiri and Eri. Tatsugiri is a dragon water type with some assistance from a Dondozo, which is pure water, so electric type maneuver certainly will do lovely there. However, Tatsugiri as a whole has 120 base special attack with Stab Dragon Pulse and Stab Muddy Water. Yeah, that's brutal. And it has Icy Wind to stop you from just trying to use a dragon on a dragon, even though it has Dragon Pulse. Really, it just stops you from using the flying dragons, therefore times weakness to Ice. We can lose accuracy from Muddy Water, we can lose speed from Icy Wind. Taunt can make us only use damaging moves. So all in all, yeah, it's got ways to deal with us quite well. So, while this flashback goes on, I don't know in what realm you'd end up doing some of these late game fights first, unless outside of thinking, oh, that's probably fine, and then you get to like one of these areas and then it's like, actually no, you shouldn't have done that. And then we get Clavel doing his thing. But we do get the lore that Harrington was the director of the academy before Clavel. Pretty much most of the staff left afterwards, after all that bullying stuff, so yeah. 18 months of overseas study. Hooray! So Cassiopeia ends up being from Galar. Lovely stuff. You know, that's great. I do like the idea of, hang on, there can be people from other regions, like Kabu in Galar being from Hoenn, yet being good enough to be the fire gym leader. All the patterns with the Team Star cutscenes after you beat them is lovely. It's great that they did find something that they consider as their treasure. And along comes Cassiopeia via phone call. Just one more to go. Hooray! More kinds of TMs! It's always lovely to get. And of course along comes Penny, as per usual, with her Eevee backpack. And Rhydon, do not fucking do what you could do. God damn it. We should throw our box legendary in a jail cell. Anyway. At the end of the day, the perspective will always be based off of what occurs. Sadly, also, you do have the world of, hello, Vesperquin. Vesperquin. You know what, well, obviously, this is not an account we can have because we've got the Floette, but, oh, Pokemon's not cycling in the best of states. Right, to the Pokemon Center over here. Where's female ones? Now, if it was shiny, now if the Vesperquin was shiny, I'd catch immediately and be like, ha, now no one can stop me. I will use me. Actually, you know what? Bug flying wouldn't be a bad idea for the next thing, actually. But no, we've got the Floette. We've got the Floette. With North Farms Area 2 is still an accountable area, as is the Pokemon League area, if we can see what we can find there. But the Tatsugiri is level 57 in total, and all the various Pokemon are level 55, 56, so... yeah, pardon me. Obviously, with the Tatsugiri, its weaknesses are Fairy and Dragon, and it resists still Fire and Water. So ideally, what we want is a Fairy that doesn't die horribly. Case in point, Tinkaton does die horribly, because Muddy Water's a special attack. No, that's special defense. Does do damage though, but can't die to Dragon Pulse. So, you know, maybe Tinkaton might remain on the team. You never know. The Dondozo also is a point of contention that we have to deal with at a point. Which will be the pure water affair. So an electric type would do quite lovely. So yes, we are now going to go into our box here and start boxing a bunch of these Pokemon that aren't going to be all that useful, which it does include our shiny Revelry. It just wouldn't be all too useful. The box... actually no, we can keep Among Us. And I said we could maybe keep Tinkaton. That's an idea, at least. Ogerpon is an option as well. Not necessarily though. Because its water typing does mean that it's no longer weak to grass. It's just ideally, if we were to use Ogerpon, we would have to make sure that Ogerpon was one of the masked forms that wouldn't die to any of the attacks. That would be the only issue. Medicham wouldn't have to worry about this stuff, but isn't really the right option either, but we can... another option we have, of course, is maybe Medicham, and the reason for that is... oh, no, is Medicham. This is because we have got the power of recovery. We can swap out Fire Punch for Thunder Punch. Or Ice Punch even. That water typing does help it actually quite well, so I think Thunder Punch would be better because then at least it does the Dondozo stuff. Now a fairy like Floette, I'm probably going to want to use a mint to change its benefiting stat to be special attack. Obviously, since we're going to get going on to Castle Royale Lake with all the water types, Mouse Grinder will be lovely and I can use it for grinding. And then lastly, there wasn't really much. I mean, maybe Volt might be worthwhile because the Thunderbolt stuff, but then that's relying heavily on the water side of things. We don't really have a dragon. We don't really have a Pokemon that gets dragon moves. So we can't rely on its dragon weakness, and I'm just looking for, I'm thinking fairy-wise, well we have Dash Bund. What else do we have? We have got a Hatchrim. Evolve it into Hatchream, and it would be able to utilise fairy shenanigans as well. So yeah, we could. So we've got a lineup of Pokemon that I think would be worthwhile. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to be gone toilet for a minute. So we can figure out ideas in a minute. I'll be back in a sec. Ooh, there's a tinge of warmth in this room. I blame the computer. Have to be. Oh. Oh, you ever have one of those days where it just doesn't feel good? Ugh, no matter what. So, okay, so this is the idea. Like, we can spore it with a rune good potentially. So that's an option. Obviously, but what we need to do now is we need to level all these Pokemon besides this one. Which we can actually do on the lake. We have a Miss Magius raid. We can outbreak, not raid, outbreak. So you know we have Night Slash. Like, oh, that gimme gold coin. I see that behind the sign. Funnily enough, we can actually farm some of these Taxigeris as well, potentially. Because the gimmick of this one here is you got to find the one that is actually saying Titan. So there's a bunch of these that are just not saying that. So it's like it's obvious which one it will be, basically. Sutan, Tai Tai, Taishi, Titan, and it is bigger than the others. So you know. So basically, the actual activity itself isn't really too hard. Right, do that sometimes. So this Mantis Rage should be a nice way. So that, so yeah, so. Ay! Okay, so yeah, we can't just do the whole thing there. Fucking Fallujah. We can utilize the power of Night Slash and do this a bit. Besides, guess who like there's already been encountered, so leave it with the because those fuckers. Do you love doing that thing? Okay, yeah, there's a lot of Miss Magius around. There's a Dumbledore. There's a Tatini. And those are my frames. I mean, it's because it's dead. The mountains magic should be lower, I think. This is Dondozo under the Dondozo at the moment. Well, at least we can still fly. And that's Hatram evolving. Where is it on the thing? Let's put it going this way. We caught Hatram in an area. I'm trying to remember which area because I can't find it on the thing. Ah, there it is. It was Timeless Woods. Oh wait, we haven't actually sorted out this. So, Escalada, Medichan, Lungus, Tinkaton's still there. We're walking Hatrim now. Hatrim. That. That's our team. That's what's in the team at the moment. So yes, Hatrine is now, it's now part fairy. Hooray. And it wants to learn Psycho Cut. A physical psychic maneuver. But it already has psychic. So no. Right. Do I actually have a shiny stone? Let's see. I do. Right, well we might as well do that then while we're at it, while we're doing the solar evolving thing. And it's a ONG Florgus. Dump. Which probably means one thing I should do is take a look at what it could have. Solar Beam, Petal Dance, over Petal Blizzard, Magical Leaf, Grass Knot, Summon, Voice Graphs into Wayne, Wish, Safeguard. Okay, so yeah. Versus Petal Blizzard. Well, Mist Rain's nice to have. Like, I can still like sub Misty to Wayne, and that would just guarantee that the dragon moves don't do much, but then it's on a fairy type. So. I prefer the idea of Petal Dance over Petal Blizzard. I'll say I'm surprised the Bebe line isn't Brass Fairy, you know? Like, it would just make sense as a type combination for a Pokemon that uses the power of its flower, of the flower, to execute mass shenanigans. Where do you think you're going? Silly Tatsugiri. So yeah, one thing we can do against Tatsugiris is play well. It's just a shame that it's like, in reality, Tatsugiri's only 475 base stat total. It has horrible physical defense, So if we hit it hard and fast enough with physical attacks, we just probably could just outright win. Like, Masquerada could possibly just do it on its own accord. Like, that's legit a thing that could be done. Currently the Tatsugiri, also wouldn't mind being able to just, also some of the Pokemon we've got wouldn't be bad shouts for Eri, because, I mean, Fairy takes out the Parsimeon, and Psychic is never a bad idea against the Poison Fighting type. Sadly, Lucario is still typing wrecks all my ideas, and then Annihilate. Whereas with the Tatsugiri, at least it's like, oh look, fairies. Fairies tend to do rather fine against the dragon. Just need to, you know, do all this. So can't do that on the ones that are just doing the whole thing here. That's just to me. But if we talk to any of these Tatsugiris that aren't the Titan one, you end up in a fight with it. Lovely. And only level 45. Which means Blayworth easily kills. But this does give us a bit of a grind that we can do. Lovely stuff. So, at the end of the day, just trying to just do things. Obviously, once again, Masquerade is going to be blocked into the stuff because pretty Pokemon for it. It does resist Dragon, Ice, and Normal, and sometimes it does so hard with a Grass Knot. That's the thing. See, that's the thing. Maybe maybe that'd be better than Tinkleton off the team. Cause yeah, I mean, Empoleon's not a bad option. Cause yeah, it does resist everything practically. I just would need to give it Grass Knot really, or a better move potentially. Even I don't know. What moves have we got? Not Foot Tunnel, again, Blast Overheat for the plant, Hydro Cannon, Blast Burn, Ice Beam! Oh! Command, Label from the Bolt, Flavor, Ice Spinner, Humcore, Heavy Slam, Psychic, Energy Ball. Oh, Energy Ball. Heat Wave, Drown Pulse, Tailwind, Liquidation, Trick, Contact Trouble, Makes it high defensive, Ah, there's a Grass Knot. We'll have coverage, and once again, this is just going to boil down to we'll have like a bajillion different ways of backup strategies, and then we'll end up not needing them. But it's good to be prepared. The fact that it's like, oh yeah, this is like level, the Titan one's level 57, yeah, all these ones are level 45. It's a little off. I actually don't know if that level's correct. So I should do that. Maybe what I should do is searching like, so I'd be a Bulbapedia real quick. Oh yeah, no, it is meant to be level 57. Because that's the one you can find in the wild, supposedly. So maybe it is, maybe it's not, I don't know, actually. I was kind of looking for the Path of Legends. Ah, there's the Path of Legends one. That was just the you could catch kind of thing. So, yeah. Also, fast enough ghost type completely dunks on the fighting team star base if you know what you're doing. Yeah, if I know what I'm doing. That's the key factor. Oh, I'm on the tab. have to fight the Dondozo first. Which, due to that being pure water, that gives off the impression of just being able to fight quite well. I'm actually not too worried really about this. I'm thinking maybe I don't need to train as much, but at the end of the day, I don't need to then faff around with a team that will do good against Dairy, and then I'm gonna have to grind up a bajillion Pokemon for the Pokemon League. Well, Penny's an evolution team, maybe that's easily counterable. As long as you know which Eevees she'll use, it's like... I'll for that really. And of course there's the Arven fight, which we've actually had insight of what he uses thanks to all these Titan fights, and that's lost it. So... That was completely useless. Ghost is... Good Ghost, then away. Bad Ghost, then... Got Miss Magic, got Frost, we've got all using Ghost types. Oh, matter. It's like, let's face it, Medicham's only here because it's got coverage. Counter. Would I have that over high jump kick? Probably not. It relies entirely on physical attacks. And what's trying to learn? Axe Kick, Medicham. Axe Kick, 120 base power for the same accuracy as high jump kick. That is so weird that they added a move like this. And yet it's an inferior high jump kick. Oh wait, no, it needs 10 less power because it's got the ability to confuse. Silly bleeding video game. Hey. Some fresh water. I do believe we're on one play worth left, so we'll fight this one and then I'm gonna have to go and use Eagle. Because let's face it, I spent like a good 3/4 of an hour on the waiting various demos side of things. So already, see, this is why I'm just not a fan of this part of the game. That it just feels like I'm grinding continuously, which I've got some living candies I can give to improve real quick, so it really, what am I doing on this bit? Oh yeah, I'm going to the ethers, which are on this tab. So I really do think that, because at the end of the day, I think Scarlet and Violet are good games. They are fun times to be had. But I think this part of the game, you've basically been able to explore all of Paldea at this point. So you're just trying to get through the last couple of objectives. So I think the early and the mid game of Scarlet and Violet is a fun time. Okay, these Tazagiris are progressively getting worse and worse for level. Like, they are just not giving what I need. Pardon me. In reality, I can do any grass type you do Dondozo, and I've got an over-level grass type. I can nip to a Pokemon Center and heal, and then go from there. And just think this through. Ugh, no wonder I jettisoned away from the game for a little bit, because this drains me. And yet, this is what I do in Final Fantasy sometimes. This is what I do, this is what we'll theoretically have to do quite a bit in P5X whenever we pull a new character, theoretically, when we're further in. So, you know, it's like all the games I play are grindy. Thank God I have no desire for a World of Warcraft subscription. Ugh, that would be it's a shame. It's a shame that there's no like real way to be in the different areas of classic like as much. But I think I understand why, because at the end of the day you can still do all the leveling of those. But it's a shame because it means that unless you really like vanilla WoW, that's the only other form of classic. And supposedly coming up is Mists, and I'm like, we're gonna go for Mists nostalgia? Why not? I argue there should be servers that are tied to specific expansions, and then the people that want to just play Wrath of the Lich King continuously every day of the week, let them. Same with those that specifically just want to be in Burning Crusade the entire time. Same with those that want to specifically be in Kata for whatever reason. It's because at the end of the day, you have access to. Oh, I can't climb up there, damn it. Because you have access. Because the thing is the vanilla 1 to 60, you don't have access to in retail, so it makes sense that vanilla would remain. What Pokemon so far carried you the most in this one? I'd argue Pormont. Electric fighting actually proved to be really good for a lot of fights. Masquerada has been really good, and I think it's great that a starter in one of my fucking Nuzlocke actually does something, because, let's face it, it didn't do much in Sword. It died way too early. Fucking Boltoy. Fucking bitch. Other than that, Gastrodon's been really good for just taking any electric shenanigans that could occur. Late game wise, Apollion's been doing a good job. But for most of the one, yeah, honestly, Masquerada and Pormont did a good amount of work. Some of these Pokemon around, I mean, Talonflame didn't do too badly. Could have used it a bit more, but I was hoping to use some of the other Pokemon that I've gotten a bit more, but then they've just never had the time to be used. And like obviously Shiny Shinx, I just chose not to use because Pormont. And I think that's the thing, is like you only realise which Pokemon you use more if it's the only one you can catch. It's like, I would ponder if I did, say, an earlier generation where encounters are random, and it's like, I was trying to. I had a Leaf Green one done, and that's gone. That one is dead. Not because I died horribly. I did lose some Pokemon. Let's not beat on that bush. I did lose some. But the Leaf Green one's dead because I don't have the save anymore. That was on the hard drive that died. And then the computer died. So there's a good 1-2 punch there. So yeah, let's just say that unless I happen to want to spend some time sorting through emulators again, I'm not doing an earlier generation at the moment. But I do want to. Looks like kind of stuck with Pokemon, to be honest. To be fair, that kind of tends to happen when you're an electric type physical attacker. Yeah, let's face it, all the good electric type attacks you want to use are special. Thunder if you're in rain, Thunderbolt if you're not in rain, or you're just using it for coverage. Thundershock's not bad in the early game if against a lot of the early game flying types like Spiraling types and regions. Whereas physically speaking, you've got what the best one's like Wild Charge, and that does recoil, so unless you've got an ability that prevents recoil damage from occurring, it's not worthwhile. Or at least it could be better. I'm willing to tempt fate. Let's do this. I'm sick to tired of grinding. Let's fight. Tatsugiri. And by that I mean we fight Dondozo, that will then retreat. So this first version of the fight, yeah. Yeah, that's a good amount of damage. Maybe Viper could have done a bit more. Up the tail is not very effective. They do damage because stab. So yeah, this part of the dom goes like fine. Easy enough. Just bump bump. And it's done. Now I actually do have to utilize Cerebi.net here to actually understand the movesets of the Pokemon a little bit more. Because apparently, according to Cerebi, the Titan Tatsugiri doesn't have a dragon move. That's weird. But that just means that my fairies are even more not as useful. Part of me wants to actually use Masquerado because it's over leveled. But the IC will totally not help. That's weird. You know what? I feel like the Nuzlocke track is not as good as it could be. Where some fights in late games, it just doesn't record them properly. Focus should be able to 1v1 Tatsugiri? Ah, probably. Its fairy typing is useful at the end of the day. Moonblast will hurt it, so... there we go. What base 154 special defense does to motherfucker? Focus is good. Like, I think the reason why we don't really talk about it when it comes to Tulip is because it gets turned into a psychic type. Meaning it becomes horribly, horribly weak to dark. Which, you know, it's just a much better situation at hand. Hello, Arvin. Nyomp. No! Tatsugiri, we hardly knew ye. But hey, while the circle of life occurs, Arvin's brilliant idea to take on a potential dragon is a greed. It's like it's probably one of the worst types in all of Pokemon, and yet it used to be the best. It's because it got hard enough in Gen 2, and then even harder enough in Gen 4. Because it suddenly gained a bunch of weaknesses to a lot of stuff. And of course the special split, meaning that some psychic types became much less defensive or much less offensive depending on the Pokemon in question. And then the geniuses at Game Freak decided, hey, we've got a great idea, we'll do the physical special split of the moves. And it meant that something like Alakazam lost a lot of coverage that day because the punch is becoming physical. So, Psychic, like, I think what hurts it the most in amongst all of the newer gens, and even in a lot of fan games, is because there's a lot of Pokemon that just learn basic dark moves like Bite, Crunch, even something as simple as Thief as well. It means that a Psychic type Pokemon just doesn't do as well anymore in regards to being able to fight other Pokemon. So even if you think, oh, it's just a normal type, it's structural bite count, this isn't going to be an issue whatsoever. You send in your Psychic type and then it uses Bite and then it dies. Psychic kind of started second Gen 6 and Dark Coast became a whole lot common when still lost its resists. That's the thing, Gen 6 was lovely in at least a few ways where, because yeah, it made Darks and Ghosts more useful because Steel was no longer resisting everything in the game besides fire and ground and fighting, but like the three types that were actually able to handle were Steel type. And then Poison also became better, although Psychic types were able to deal with Poison types because of the way that worked, because the Fairy type existed. Muddy Water, very useful, lowers accuracy, but isn't lower accuracy, hooray! And we're lowering its special attack with Moonblast, because we're geniuses. Greedent, no! Arvin should be using his full team at this point. That's a buff knockoff is a near death thanks to any non-beat to it. Especially if they go on iron, like, not only do they lose the iron, if they do somehow live, they're not living. I maybe should have hit. Nope, we live, please, haha. Although, We win! Haha! Not over-prepared and potentially under-leveled in this instance. Hooray! What a good Pokemon does. Sometimes if you have a good Pokemon, it means you don't have to grind as much, but also meant that the fight took longer, and we actually were on the near third to death there a little bit. Right, now I'm going to have to reconfigure my team again, because now with that done, the only thing we've got before all of the last fights of the game, depending on which stories we're going to try and wrap up first. I'm not sure which ones I want to wrap up first. Well, obviously Arvin's probably isn't the hardest in the world, but his does go from 58 to 63 real sharpish on his team. Clive isn't the last fight, but his team is a good mixed match of Pokemon. And then Penny's 6 evolutions, so it's like one that's good against dark, one that's good against water, one that's good against electric, one that's good against fire, one that's good against grass, and one that's good against fairy. That's all you'd need. Bravo, everyone. Whereas Nimona will be the hardest one that will end the storyline, but at the same time, we'd have to make it through the Elite Four and Champion fight. Hey, ground will deal with ground is easy to deal with. Gastrodon and Masquerada can work their way through that team quite easily. Still, again, Gastrodon would be useful. Otherwise, obviously a fighting type will do wonders there. But that Tinkaton scares me. Flying tends to be weak to electric, but that grass one to start things off with helps stop me from just going electric. Same with then an Oricorio, but honestly, could be dangerous quite a bit because of the Brave Bird using Flamingo. And then Dragon is Dragon. Dragon types are Dragon types. Like they hurt. They hurt. Dragon hurts. A good Ice type will certainly help, but they'll have ways of dealing with it. And then Greeter is shit. So yeah, I think that sums that up. So hooray! We've done all but one objective that isn't then the end of the storyline stuff. Hooray! The Fighting Team Star Base. Not only do I have to figure out how I'm dealing with the Pokemon in the base itself as like my top 3 usable things, I have to magically be able to handle all the fighting types that are on board there, which honestly, like, recommendations say Halloween, Talonflame and Gyarados, fair enough to be fair, because Psychic and Flying does do well against fighting, but it's like Toxicroak at the end of the day is a pretty much, I can't use Masquerada on any of these Pokemon because they're all fighting types, so yeah, I'm fucking that thing. But Toxicroak's weaknesses are Psychic, Flying and Ground, so a Psychic type actually does do fine against the first 2. Then we need to swap on over to more of a, how do we deal with a Steel type with Fire, Fighting and Ground weaknesses of a Lucario. Then Annihilate's Ghost weakness, because it is a Ghost type, means that we can use a Ghost type move without being a Ghost type. And we have to care about the fact that it probably does have coverage, because of course it would. And then the Weather Room should be a fighting version, so insert anything that's good against fighting there. Just, it has got Combat Talk, Spin Out, so yeah. Which means I do have to now dilly-dally on that stuff a load. Actually, I should probably write some of this down, because I don't trust the tracker as much anymore. Yeah, I'm needing to get through the cutscenes as well while I'm doing this. Right, I've got pages upon pages upon pages of stuff. So, yeah, so okay, well, I'm probably misspelling Psychic. Flying, Ground. flying, fairy, and psychic. So psychic, not the worst thing ever. For that, just because it means it should be Sucker Punch, Finish Shock, Toxic, and Brick Break. Again, Ghost type setup just wins. Well, yeah, we set up a bunch on the Sucker Punch, and then go from there. So and yet the tracker says that, so yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah, we set up on the fact that we'll probably use Sucker Punch on a Ghost. We could do that. Miss Magius is an option. Do a bunch of setup and then try and hard sweep with it. Meanwhile, while I'm distracted, Miss Positive is better again. Hooray! Hooray! Any sickos that wanted it to die horribly and become a Houndstone, you bastards, shall be in the infinite circles of hell. That's why it's probably not a bad idea. Because of course none of these Pokemon outright suffer against, like, none of them really have any way of dealing with Ghost as much outside of, well, yeah, Lucario has Dark Pulse, but yeah, that. So the Lucario's weaknesses at the end of the day are, of course, fire, fighting, and ground. It's good to just check its all of their weaknesses, just to try and make sure that we have good amount of coverage. The Ghost Annihilate has more weaknesses, and yet at the same time I feel like I'll have more issues with it. It is a strong Pokemon, except maybe the Starmobile. Starmobiles are weird. Some places say that they are part type of their thing. Some say otherwise. So, like, obviously, if the Starmobile is correct, it should be the same as Pass Simeon by all logic. Which means, yeah, probably Miss Magius would be probably the best thing. We can go and take a look at all what we can do with it at the end of the day. We took too long to get out of the thing, so now Arvin gets to hear the phone call for once. I've designed the lock so that it works in a very specific way that if you don't open it properly, it will just melt off and then it will never be inoperable. You can never open the door again. That's right, we're using first Doctor Who technology. Hooray! Oh, so let's go and almost die to radiation poisoning in episode 2. But that just goes to show that at the time the writers didn't think they'd be doing a thing like regeneration. Poor Arvin. But hey, at least Miss Positive is well now. Hooray! Because Miss Positive is a good boy. But anyway, Arvin will be waiting for us for a fight in front of the lighthouse, because that's what will happen. Which, yeah, so we won't head there straight away. And we do still have our North Province Area 2 encounter. I also do want to check, now that we've got the ability to climb up, what a certain area counts as. Because we have access, because we've got all the gym badges, so we can catch everything. Because technically, we could go for something a little bit cheekier if it counts as a specific area that we haven't got an encounter in. So I'm going to go up to Medeli, not into Area 0. It's not Area 0 that we're going to. I just want to see what these things count as, because we could maybe go for something, and you know, it'd be kind of neat. Right. So anyway, Probably bigger area of North Bonds Area 2. Yeah. Well, North Bonds Area 2 is going... Now we have access to the rest of North Bonds Area 2 that we didn't have access to previously. That isn't a part of the fighting base. So we can actually get out the bamboo forest. So that's a good news. I want to see what this area, whether this counts as just still being whichever areas we happen to be in, or something else. And I would have thought there would be a team. Anyway, the ability to climb up a wall like this is super entertaining. It just means we have to climb. And up there's a magma zone. That's not what I'm thinking of, but it's a thing. What does this count as? Does this count? We're still counted as... so if we're inside, it counts as the Great Crater. So if we toe the line a bit, the tracker doesn't count this as an area. Fair enough, because Great Crater is basically Area 0 if you're not careful. Obviously we can't get into Area 0 if you have to do the storyline stuff. But there it is. That's right, we could technically go... Well, I should probably have a nice guide up front out of all things. Since this is the Great Crater of Paldea, we can have a Garchomp. It's just there in the air. I don't remember what level it is though. This is just sweet. It's just in the air like that. Like, hello, Garchomp. They just put a Pseudo just in the air. Just I have no idea why they want to do such a silly, foolish thing like this. But they did. So, I argue Great Crater of Paldea is an area. The tracker doesn't, but I say it does. Since we can encounter a Pokemon here. Well, 2 Pokemon. There's also that Terra Pokemon I saw, but... Seeing as I'm struggling to encounter the bloody Garchomp. Sit. Oh, it's only level 57! Go, Mouse Squadder! We're over level! Right, okay, we need to see if it actually states it as Great Crater of Paldea. Quick catch. Didn't quick catch. But we call it anyway! Sweet! If it counts, it counts, and I'll be happy. Because at least then we've got Garchomp, and Garchomp's confused. We need to actually look and see if that's the case. If it counts as a different area that we've already got one in, then the Garchomp doesn't count, and we'll be sad, but... Yep, it counts. It's Great Crater of Paldea, which this bloody thing doesn't have on the listing whatsoever. I don't know why the tracker doesn't do that. So yes, for any future references, for anyone that plays Nuzlocke, you can get a Garchomp, assuming you didn't dupes clause yourself with a Gibble, or a Magnezone if you didn't dupes clause yourself with a Magnemite. So, you know, and it's Hasty. Is Hasty a good one? Nature for it. I mean, it's faster. And if we do any sand shenanigans, we boost our evasion with it. And it's a Garchomp. It's a powerful Pokemon. Yeah, okay, super weak to ice. But seeing as we've already beat Grusha, and the only other trainers that have ice are that will be fighting at... In terms of the Elite Four, the only 2 Pokemon that do super effective ice damage would be Gita's Avalugg. Why would we send a Garchomp against an Avalugg? And the Baxcalibur of Hassel. Obviously Hassel as a whole has a bunch of dragons, so that obviously is not what we'd be doing with it. But you know, practically everything else though, as long as it's weak, as long as we hit hard with a dragon or ground maneuver. Whew. So you know, we have a Garchomp now. I'm happy. It's so weird that you can do that. What is that Pokemon that has a Terra thing over here anyway? Ah, now that actually puts us back in Response Area 3. So what hides up here anyway? Oh, an Actu hides here. You know what? That makes sense. I did ponder it. Can we find anything other than Magnezone and Garchomp? Because that's kind of neat. That the Great Crater, if you do it right, you can actually get an encounter Like, that's fun. I like a fun idea like this. This is neat. So yeah, West Palms Area 2 now. We can skirt around a bunch of it and whatnot with the power of our stuff. So sadly, I don't know how much of it we'll be able to run around of, but because the fighting base is there, but we can take a look. Maybe we can find something that's really useful and just like sweeps the Elite Four. While we're doing that, I should probably definitely swap out. Napoleon has its uses, but still typing really doesn't help it. And then we've got Psybeam. You only have Psybeam? Oh god, okay, well, we'll have to level Miss Magius up, definitely, and we have to hope to god we have a Psychic TM. Because Calm Mind, I think I might have had and I used. Oh no, I haven't. We can use Calm Mind, definitely. We have Shadow Ball at least, so. And coverage. Power Gem. For the moment, we'll have Power Gem over Mystical Fire, and then I need to check. Ah, there's like a TM. Have Psybeam. So, okay, Miss Magius is sorted out in terms of moves. I just need to now level it a whole bunch, so. Yeah, wait, Area 1 we're in right now. We want to head over this way to Area 2. So, yep, good. Now, that's what we can actually head the correct way without being an idiot. So now we just need to see what we can get, because the only other place that the game states is the tracker states the Pokemon, but I could always be wrong. It could be more area, and I'd be none the wiser. So, you know, I'm thinking Garchomp might be something I would want just as a backup strat, because it's not weak to fighting. So anyway, we can now climb these walls, which is something that's useful. And hey, if it puts us into Area 2, then that's even better. Yeah, it does. And Houndoom, which is weak to fighting. So, yeah, we'll ignore that one then. Let's see if we can land where Pokemon isn't. Like, give me the point. Obviously, that's not our encounter, but we can see down there Cyphers, there's Dragapult and Dreepies there. So we've got this area, and I believe the area I'm seeing over there is of a different area, because that's not, yeah, that's a ruin over in that area, so not so useful. Swap back down. Altaria, again, not really the most useful sort of thing. We don't want to make ourselves incredibly weak to ice now, do we? Cypher is kind of shit. But actually, no, Cypher isn't the worst thing ever, as just like a bug flying type that would be like type advantage wise, it would be fine. Flying is good. Otherwise, there's Dragapult, there's Mimikyu, and it's a Terra thing. This area is not as good as I was hoping it to be, because there's more colleges. And the forever common presence of the side up line. Just to really hand that one. If we go this way, we're gonna be careful like Hamlet. Hornchcrow. There's a Hornchcrow in a bush. Probably shouldn't stand around. Hornchcrow might attack. Alright. Up in this bit, and we've got more full Lucha. This rock's more shiny. It's got more sheen to it. So there's nothing on top of it. How much of this is area 2 and how much of this goes into the base? The base goes along that, so I think that's the base bit. and then this bit counts as, all of this counts as area 2. And is usable. So, part of me was thinking I was going to have to level my birds up a bunch. Ooh, not even. Nah. I mean, the flying part would be useful. Dragon part, less useful. And then really doubling down on dragon a bunch, but have its uses. Flying is good. Have to level it. Okay, there's a locates right there, so. Backup strat. Like, obviously we'll go for the Miss Magius sweep approach, but backup strat not even. That's Frisk instead of Infiltrator, that's fine, I'll take it. Quick Ball will work, hopefully. Quick catch. Man, Garchomp was more cooperative. I'm gonna have to swap to something that won't die. It's using Screech. What? No. Halloween though doesn't have the. Halloween, come on out. I don't know if it's coming to go flying move, so I have to do this. And if it's got dragon move that it was going to use, then oh no, it was going to use Roost. It's going to use Roost. Like, why? Why Roost? Ah. Okay, I didn't think I'd kill on that one. I also do not use Healing Wish, that move sucks ass. It's just what it has. I need to sort out Hatchwing's moves that I didn't do. I have not sorted that out yet. Point being though, I'm not sure if we're... Actually, yeah, you know what? It probably will be there. It will be there as a thing. Looking at it, it doesn't really get much in that sense. I mean, I can always use a TM of various maneuvers. Magical Leaf wouldn't be the worst idea ever. Yeah, that's not much I would want though. Probably wouldn't mind. I mean, Tiger Cut's not the worst option ever then by that logic. Hill Pulse probably is better than Healing Wish, but some of this stuff's more. Play Nice could be useful. Lower the physical attack of a fighting type is always a lovely idea. Life 2 has its uses as well. There's not really much here. That's the only thing. I'll have played Nice over Healing Wish just as a thing because you never know. Really. You never know. But yeah, Healing Wish, yeah, that faints me. That's horrible. Like anything would be better. This is not the right team setup. I wish I didn't hit the thing. Kept Mystical Fire on Hat because it's egg move. Oh well, I'll have to relearn that then real quick. Right. Okay. So, Masquerada outside of grinding, absolute bad for this situation. But we have got a plan to just go for a sweep with Miss Magius. Calm Mind a bunch on the Toxicroak because it will probably try and go for Sucker Punch. As for backup strats, Halloween Psychic Fairy typing is a good combination against fighting. Medichamp's not the worst option either. Pure Power Send Headbutting will do fine. Florgus, obviously, Moonblasts will always be useful. Fungus is not so useful realistically, but T-Substitute instead of Power Gem on Miss Magius. It's an option, but I understand the point of it. Other than that, I think maybe I'll swap a Moongus out for Talonflame, just because it's flying, and then we have Garchomp now, so guard jump like actually yeah no guard jump. I'm having guard jump over time frame actually because at least then I can say it. Because why has it got bite instead of crunch? And then does it get the dance at this point in time? No, it does not. Huh. Alright, well, I'll teach you the dance later then. Then as for Miss Magius, yeah. We need to then... I like the coverage, but do I even have substitute? Yeah, I do. Wait then. Well, obviously maybe I would put time frame in, but like anyways, I did get all those XP candies from an area, so that's not too bad. We can definitely utilize that. Yeah, that did not go through. Right. Okay. Access to everywhere in the region is now definitely 100% the case. Just need to now just, yeah, do the whole evolving shenanigans. No, not evolving, just evolving. We can even just night slash these Mismagiuses exist. At level 50, that'll do. This is another point. Pretty much most of the Pokemon I can find that will be the highest level ones will probably be level 50 range. So at this point, so they're not going to necessarily be the. Oh, Gold Duck, why not? We can Flower Trick it. Oh, it is way too warm in here sometimes. I swear I'm gonna sweat myself to death, but no well. This Golduck's stuck. Let's kill it. You could beat Blissey's in North Province Area 3 for 960. Oh, you can find Blissey's there? Wait, okay, that would probably be better. Because Blissey gives an amazing amount of experience when you can find one. Probably be best to have... No, wait, it's fairy. I was about to say, probably best to have like a fighting type use close combat, but then I remember, no, it's fairy now. They made it fair. No, wait, no, it's normal. I thought they made it. I thought Blissey was fairy. Why do I think Blissey's fairy? It's normal type. Fighting type move will do wonders. What am I on? Which means. Wait, area 3. Blissey is normal. Yeah, I realise that when I say it, and it's just like, huh. Boy, I am an idiot. I don't know, I don't know why, I just feel like it would be a type of Pokemon that would... Message retracted. Oh. Blissey is normal. Yeah, at the end of the day, that's how it is. How do you make a message retract? Where would Blissey be in this area? So I'd assume it'd be in the flowery area, so inside all the other... Pokemon, but at the same time, I haven't seen it, so it could be a Terra Pokemon over here. Or, no, that's dead. It's a normal dead. Could be a Blissey. It's not, it's a fucking normal. Pokemon don't tend to spawn it in the bases last I checked. So it should be wrong. Nope, it didn't. If it took a lighthouse over in the process. Which means Blissey is somewhere. You know what? It's all about encounter weights, so let's see. It tends to be North Province Area 1. Oh, you can find them in Area 2 and Area 3, but like it doesn't help that it's like impossible to actually really know exactly to that bit. But it tends to be flowers for Paldeus ones, so which means it could just be a rare counter then. Which makes sense. After all, it's how flowers tend to work. Otherwise I'm just seeing a lot of flowettes. Sylveon. Skip these and jump off. I like to be around some floors occasionally in the day, but at night. And then Rook Bar place. Yeah, little flowettes. And there's the beach. Where the ice cubes show up. I mean, I can happily be on the ice cube. Must be a rare spawn. Trying to make a normal type encounter booster, I think. Yeah, that would probably help. Which do I have the things that would help that? Medicham immediately goes to sleep. Hello, Garchomp. Do I have... I mean, hand temperature is kind of power normal. That'll do. Oh god, the table's fighting to explode on us. We do not forget the pickles, for obviously our Pokemon will hide it under their tongues. Plop. And there we go. Okay, there. Oh, I found the couple orange cubes. Oh well, I'll put it over there for the moment, the cup, otherwise. Because I do have a can of Fanta around now, so just do that. Forgot you need to press A. Also, I've forgotten to sort out the tracker again. We've swapped a few Pokemon out for good old Garchomp and so there we go. That should hopefully boost our power in that sense. Let's see if fate ends up being tempted. Nope. Okay, good. Right, let's pack up and see if we get any Blissies. Well, there's Chanseys now. We're finding Chanseys. Chansey! That's useful. Which, yeah. Sadly, high jump. I mean, high jump. 130 power. And how it wants to learn healing. It wants to just die. It wants to kill itself. No! No! Bad! Bad Adri! Ah, Blissey! Oh, pardon me. Blissey! So now we miss on the high jump kick. Nope, we don't. Okay. No, see, here's the thing. Like, while I like high jump kick, part of me really did want to put axe kick on Medicham, since it got it via level up, just so I could just reference wrestling a whole bunch. Medicham hits the axe kick and then does a spinner Rooney, that sort of thing. Or maybe go for a Trick Williams reference. Whoop that cham, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, lovely, high amount of experience. Thank God for Blissey. Might be a little on the low level side comparatively to some Pokemon we could be fighting, but hey, you know. Obviously, would not use. Obviously, Blissey is the definition of real good support. Not really that useful in story fights due to the fact that you kind of want to just take out your opponent's Pokemon as hard and as fast as possible, unless their strat is to requires you to suddenly now care more about having support to just try and deal with it. I am murdering the eggs. I won't allow them to crack open. Hoo-yah! And I need to keep now doing this until I can get my Pokemon up to like a good high enough level. Oh, I haven't recognized I did the thing this could realistically beat any of the special attack out there if you really struggle against one. I mean, Blissey's stats. Is that it's a very good special with one of the highest base stat health in the game. So even with a hindering nature, it's gonna take a while to take out Blissey if it wasn't for its horrible physical defense being 10 physical defense. Fucking Shuckle has better physical defense, but he's also shitter. So you know. Let's see if when this is. There's one. Ugh. Maybe I should have had the fire thing ready. Oh well. Well, Medicham's level 60. That's cool. Medicham actually might be useful. Might be a good... Like, this is the thing. I'm glad I've got backup strats. I'm also not... Blissey's bulk 255, 10, 1.5. So yeah, there's a lot on this better and a lot better than the physical side of the investment. True. True enough, because it's got that high health, it is able to potentially tank. Like, the reason at the end of the day it's not tanking the Medicham's high jump kicks is because it's weak to high jump kicks, 130 base power, physical attack. Whereas something like a Send Headbutt maybe actually wouldn't do as much. Just like hardly anything potentially. Just because, well, it's got the health to maybe live. Hello, Chansey. Oh, Chansey wants to fight them. Fair enough. Although this is around, I kind of want to fight those. We ran out of high jump kick. But yeah, Chansey does still. So that's fine. Stabs and unbuff, pure power. Power of the Medicham should be fine anyway. I mean, hey, at least it's not the days of Gen 4 where if you use close combat on a Blissey, you're then there for an hour waiting for its health to go down. Oh hey, a Frogger spawn. That's neat. Could have saved the stone. Oh well. I don't know if either the graphics just decided to just stop working or something there, because that Sylveon looked normal. Like, it's not the Terror one, even though it probably should be the Terror one. I'm literally all out of it. But Sylvia, it's so adorable. And of course, the colours of it represent a certain flag, or at least can represent a certain flag. And that flag is a decent flag. It's a good looking flag. Bravo for having a good looking flag. Now, that's what we say around here. Good looking flags are good looking flags. People should stop killing. Ugh. You know what? I may have mentioned earlier with stuff to do with Glastonbury, but obviously, there's some good stuff. There's some good stuff in there. Peter Capaldi randomly being there in the Franz Ferdinand set, doing singing "Take Me Out." It's like, yeah, cool, fair enough. And there's just people being like, this is definitely something the 12th Doctor would have done. And it's like, possibly, who knows? But yeah, I do find it funny, like, oh, we gotta make it sound like the UK is not wanting this conflict to go on any longer. It's like, calling something a conflict suggests that it's like a dual-sided affair, when instead it's more of a stomping on people who haven't got much dough. Yeah, it's weird. I honestly, like, anything going on in the Middle East at the moment is just, why is it still ongoing? Why are we still doing all this bullshit? I thought we would have learned all the lessons from the previous times, but those previous times were oh so bad, they really didn't learn the lessons, so yeah, no. I think the world's certainly screwed up in a lot of ways. It's a shame that in today's day and age you can't talk about politics much, because you'll get people on both extremes. It does happen, being the worst kinds of human beings possible, and then you're just like, man, so that all. Right, we need to Aether or Elixir, actually, even. Real quick. There's that Blissey. Blissey! Oh, save you! Being surrounded by all those other Pokemon? Like the Killer Wattrels? Like, early on, when you're first catching the first load of Pokemon, you may think like, oh, okay, this Pokemon will help me against this thing. But then if it dies, it's like, oh. I can very much. Float! It's a blue flower one! No! I think there are definitely plenty of cute Pokemon that aren't fairies, but also pretty much all fairies are cute. I'm failing to think of a non-cute fairy type. And all pink Pokemon are cute, so obviously any pink ones don't count. Cause like Glambull, like some might say, oh that's not cute, but it's like, no, ew, Snubbleline's cute. Maybe I'm right. I know there are people out there that are certainly weird when it comes to the word cute in total. You know what? Sandstorm over Slash, we'll do that because then we can proc Sandfail and just evade. Have better chances of evading with Garchomp. It's not necessarily something that we'll do as an overall thing, and I feel like my encounter powers may be running low. I'm not seeing as many chances right now, even, so could be that it's starting to run low. But wait, we got a shit ton of experience out of it, so you know, and I got to yap a little bit. Right, you know what's fun? Knowing someone who doesn't choose to watch things sometimes, like Kindred Spirit, in that sense. But it's like, if you're making like a bunch of Red Dwarf references in front of them, and they're just like, eh. It's like it's just so funny because it's like, oh come on, Red Dwarf you've been able to watch Red Dwarf for years. How does that happen? Like honestly. Fight this Blissey. I do think that it's funny sometimes, just knowing how unaware to references some people can be. And you know what? You know what? I understand. Recently saw a TikTok of just part of like that stamp on the ground animation where it's got like a whole bunch of various video game references that as a kid I didn't know the majority of them. It's like, oh, that's a Lucario. I know that. That's a Pokemon. But that was really weird. That was really weird. Or like obviously like, oh, Luigi. Yeah, I know what Luigi is. I had a Wii for fuck's sake. Of course I would know what Nintendo stuff is. But it's like I didn't know so many of the references when I first saw that animation, like when it first came out. Just because I was new to the internet, I was new to the wider way of not kiddie Nintendo shit. I say that while playing Pokemon. but no, honestly, like, it's also so weird that there's been multiple different variants of said animation made to, or specific fandoms, or just like to the like one that's like YouTuber specific, and it's like, ugh, there's 3 Bob Americans there. And then of course there was the Brony one, and it's just like, ah yes, the Brony one, yes, that's an entertaining one, isn't it? It's just like, ugh. Honestly, I don't think the song's not the best choice either, really. There are quite a few old animations on the internet that's just a pure referential humor. Hell, some people on the internet will hype up some of the abridged series from like 2 decades ago at this point, and it's like, well, I've hit 60. Alright, let's go fight Harry. Yeah, I've gone distracted. I'm yapping. I'm yapping a whole bunch. Oh wait, no, that was a shiny. No. I'm gonna have to go back on the footage on my phone now, aren't I? No, please tell me that was not shiny Chansey. Violet Nuzlocke, because it's on the playlist. Right, so we fly to the spot. Yeah, it was a fucking shot. God damn it. Oh, literal last second there. It spawned while I was in the menu. No. Oh. It's not the best shiny in the world, to be honest, but still, it's fun getting shinies. Although, to be honest, I have got this slight weakness in my team. I was gonna swap out Masquerader. It can stay. It can stay. Like sorry. Sadly with the ghost shenanigans of Miss Magius, I don't know if I can put it up front for the team star bit. I'll have to like start with like other stuff. So I'm thinking like maybe start this lineup for like the 3, and then I swap at the point of the fight itself. Oh yeah, we're gonna get close enough to the base for the Bototototos. But one last squad to go. The one that I worry will hurt me the most. Hey, Kaflo. I just feel an aura of sweat around me. Is my window actually open? It is, but also it's like cat around. I don't see it. It looks like this. Oh no, wait, there's a different. No, is that the one that I saw the other day? Oh no, it's a different one. It hasn't got the colour one. Why do they keep going into the hedge? Alright, I've got a hedge of bramble essentially at the moment. Should probably lead Miss Magius after the fight before the entrance. Oh. It's ghost aspect possibly wouldn't be too bad. It's because we got to be able to deal with super effectiveness. So that's my frame of mind. My mind's like, we've got to be able to deal with super effectiveness. I don't know if a ghost type that has a psychic move will actually deal damage or will suffer. That's just me. Right, okay. What fight potential is? Oh yeah, Harry's just up there. I don't know if we actually have a fight or not. I forget on that one. But on this, but yeah, well. Clavell outright fights Harry. Fair enough. Hello, final Team Star base leader. I'm here to beat you up. And there's the grunt. He cares about people quite nicely. Also, it's like fighting type and like the tallest woman ever with at least some amount of muscle potentially. I mean, more physically imposing arms than any Hoyo-Fast character that's meant to be like all big and buff. Fucking noodle arm Caesar. Fucking. And yet people love our stuff. The fucking Tiger Girl. Every time I think about going back to playing some Sandless, because I haven't played it in a while, I then immediately think of how the community goes about things, and I'm like, no, I don't want to be associated with them. I don't want to be associated with Hoyo games in total, actually, at the moment, because it just seems like they do cater to an extent. It's shuddering because we have a psychic move. Oh, I need to heal. I need to go and heal before we get to go into the base. Oops, daisy, that's the thing I just noticed. We only have one high jump kick. Well, while the high jump kick itself, in and of itself, won't do much. Well, actually, no, we don't have to swap. Primate is just Primate, so it's fighting. Send head the Bataroo! Very like it. I've gained saying a thing like that from, I think, wrestling. Just being like just saying it in like a Japanese sounding way when you see a move hit in like New Japan, and it's just like, and I don't know why. I don't know why I've done that, because that sounds somewhat racist. And besides, if I actually want to say things properly, I should be saying, because like moves like Kamigoye knee strike is like, yeah, Kamigoye. That's definitely Japanese sounding. I don't know, I think Kamigoye is not a bad thing. Oh, I love how it's like, oh, obviously all these people are being too tribalistic because, hey look, Osprey's in a match where he doesn't go 100 miles per hour all the time. It's like, okay, cool, he finally understood how to sell. Good. It's about damn time. Shame it had to be when he's fighting Hangman, but anyway. Not like Ricochet, so it's like, we can have something that wasn't just a New Japan match. Right, healing, so my Pokemon aren't entering with less PP in their moves. We can lead, I'm thinking leading at least, yeah, we could lead Miss Magius possibly. We'll see how it goes. If we have to back out, we can back out, thankfully, but, right. So, yeah, make that lead. Florgus, I'm not saying Medicham. Medicham we've ended up over-leveling to such a high extent that it's excellent. Oh, it's excellent for the backup strats of just going with what we've got. Our squad is not going to be useful at all in this base. It's just not. And yet we've accidentally over-leveled it as well. Actually, it means Rika. It means outside the camera, Rika's done. Rika's gonna die to our squad, so we'll easily be able to start work on the Elite Four. We just need to make sure we've got a variety of Pokemon that's ready to be able to take on all the members, as well as, of course, the champion for that, but that's something we can consider later. We start with Cassimian and Farlinks being around, so this is how well Miss Magius does. Let's see. Boyaka, boyaka! 6, 1, 6, 1, 9, yeah, boyaka. When it's there, we are, yeah. Who's that jumping? Off there. Oh, when? No. No, as I was saying earlier with Yappy, some of those are great series from, like, nearly 2 decades ago, possibly. Like, they're all just referential. Oh, yeah, top to front. Probably should have not used Florgus in that one. Oh, god damn it, Florgus. while Miss Magic deals with that, right, let's not go into a Toxicroak again with a Focus, because that was a bad idea. But this base is quite simple, as it is ascent upwards, so you're trying to get to... Breathing! Breathing being at the base makes sense. Well, good, you take care of that one, because I need, Crooks. Right, let's just make sure that Magicham's going to be full health. And then... stays there. Not the best option against Toxicroaks. This magic is and then that's 5 out of 5. Sweet. Okay, let's. So we substitute then Calm Mind. That's at least the intention. If it doesn't work out as intended, then it doesn't work out as intended. One last Starmer build. This is the fight I've been dreading the entire one, so this is of course where we easy sweep and I waste time and wasting could have maybe done differently. But as with every fighting type class who ever does anything that might seem wrestling related, I will be always pleased. And a good loud shout always gets the fight going. Just going, Wah! Or, you know, Wah! That makes it sound meaner, you know? Even if it's, you know... And she uses syllables, which is kind of... Someone might as well get syllables. No one else does. Right, okay, so... Well, seeing as we had to climb up a mountain area... Yeah, Dogs of Great Shadows. Good. Anyways... Oh no, I was thinking I was gonna use a move, oh no. I love how the substitute has essentially remained very much the same since like the first generation, where it's just like, yeah, this is what it is. And of course, the Dolo, which is good. Calm Mind. An excellent way to boost any special attacker with a special attack boost and a special defense boost. So if you're facing a fellow special attacker, suddenly they're not going to be special attacking. Right, so that's Sucker Punch number 3. So I could probably Calm Mind once more at the very least. And we'll see if we can see. So yeah, we should probably do the attack itself. Doing this. You look at what it says. Sucker Punch will do so much. So yeah, I should probably. So yeah, well, that would Sucker Punch 4. So I'm meant to exhaust Sucker Punches. Can't break. They can poison jab. It should be actually. There's over 4 or 5. Because we should be on plus 3 or 4. I need to check. But I wasn't. I've lost count. We're on plus 4. I took the time with the substitute for it as well, so I say that means we're done with that, which means Psychic. Yep. I was going to use both. So now, Toxicroak dies. Aha. Aha! Aha! And Lucario's trying to stop me from using the maneuvers we've got. I wouldn't mind having Mystical Fire on there, as I think, but you know, for the Lucario, but Psychic or Shadow Ball will still do fine. In fact, Shadow Ball will probably do better due to it being stabbed. A ball to the face. And that's Lucario dealt with. Hooray! So if it goes to Parsimeon, that's just a hit with Psychic every time. Nope, Annihilate. We can hit with Shadow Ball. Obviously, if it's... Actually, no, it's not faster. It's only 9. It's slower, but has got the health. So, Shadow Ball will do lovely. Even Terror Ghost, of course, you like Terror. But that is Annihilate dealt with. Which means Parsimeon. The strat is working very, very well. But that's what happens when you exhaust all of the other stuff. I mean, obviously, like, if I didn't do Carmine 4 times in a row, Mystical Fire would be a good option to take out the Lucario. Even maybe using Gastrodon and Earth Power, as a Steel type is weak to ground. Maybe some other methods, but of course now we just got to deal with the Weather Room Starmobile that is level 56. I've been over level to an extent in some of these fights, and that's fine, it's fine. I don't, like, maybe I'll care about level caps at one point in the future, and all that. Well, technically I should set myself to set, and if we want to go with what other people do online, I meant not to items, I meant to not evolve, I meant to not use good Pokemon, I meant to just use shit ones. Like, some challenge ones to me just sound like, I want to punch myself in the balls repeatedly. Or at least it would be the same sort of feel, you know. The great thing about having a Garchomp means a ground dragon, so, you know, if you have a Yarkberry lying around somewhere, we can utilise that to an extent. So, now we've got all the end fights. With, well, somewhat all the end fights. Arvin's storyline, there's just himself and his team of Pokemon based off of the Pokemon he got throughout the game. That's lovely. Good continuity. Thank you, Game Freak. The Elite Four, we have to prepare ourselves for 5 fights in a row. Although if we're able to swap Pokemon out at all through the power of a box in between Elite Four fight bits, that'll be interesting. Because it means that we can prepare our team and have it a bit more designed properly for each bit, instead of like, okay, this one's going to be the one that murders that team, that one's going to murder that team, that one's going to murder that team, that sort of thing. Because weakest ground types includes a Wishcast, a Camrub, a Donphan, a Dugtrio, and a Clodsire, which terrors into pure ground. So that means we can like murder the shit out of her team with grass. So Masquerada murders it, and obviously as long as it goes first against the Wishcast and all that, you are able to swap mons between E4 fights. Well, that makes things a whole lot better. That means I don't have to purposely keep in a shite of Pokemon like Garchomp against a lot of dragons. Unless I'm able to outspeed them and out-hit them, it's not so good. And similarly, I don't have to then have maybe a gimped team for Gita then. Oh, so we do get a copy of Close Combat now, which is useful. It's nice to have and all that. If a Pokemon that can learn it uses it really, really well, then hey, the Steel type 1 will go down probably a little bit quicker in some ways. And with that, the last Team Starbase is done. Bronzong should clean the Steel fight easily by staying up with Carmine to Iron Defense and then spamming Weather Ball onto Sun. That is a very specific strategy. We would need to be able to definitely set up the Sun aspect. Because at the end of the day, we have Levitate on it, so we'd be able to fight that stuff, and then we just have to like not die. Yeah, Tinkaton has the qualm of being quite weak physically and attack-wise. Uses all physical attacks, so it'll be interesting to see on that one. Larry will be something. His team very much actually Solar Beam, but Sunny Day Solar Beam Tropius, that can be brutal. Ooh, we've hit the 3-hour mark today. Hooray! But also at the same time, the fucking humidity, I swear. Hey, like, grab me phone. What does the weather app say right now? It claims that it is of 19 degrees at the moment, and it will by 3 o'clock, and then for most of the afternoon after that point, hit 29 degrees. Oh, lovely. I'm going to go and be a puddle later. However, it is also... Oh god, it's that humid. It's supposedly 89% humidity. It was around 80 yesterday, and it was... I was melted. So, yeah, I'm going to slowly die. Hooray. Now, once we're through all these cutscenes, we can't actually outright just immediately beeline to the Cavell fight if we so decided to, because it has to be done at night. And we have something to keep in mind the team. So if we did want to do it, we'd have to take on a Orangaru, an Abomasnow, a Poltegeist, and a Moongus. Fair play, I actually think Cavell's got some good choices here. Gyarados with Intimidate, and of course Skeledirge, since we picked Masquerada. So he legit gets the starter that's good against you, and it's just like, oh, just Skeledirge is so cool. I love Skeledirge. I gotta say, I've ended up accidentally drawing like a representation of myself through stick figure wearing the Masquerada mask at least twice now. Once with these thumbnails and once the Persona 5X ones, and I feel like I've accidentally become a big fan of Masquerada. Like I've never really used Brigatito, so so it was a new experience there still at least. So, you know, good old everything that has occurred. Like I think Quacklevo's not bad, but Skeledirge and Masquerada are so cool. They're so great. Maybe some point in the future I'll get a Spiritito plushie to have alongside my Fruit Coco. I should check that local store where I got this from. I really should. Game died, so I can't find any additional Pokemon from like I did to the Jigglypuff. That's a shame. Oh. Right, let's heal. And then... Oh, so weird. I feel like I'm just going to start moaning about the heat continuously. But we've got the end fights. We've done everything else besides them. So we can prepare for all of them practically. I mean, we'll have to prepare for them. The only ones that are pure type specialists at this point are the Elite Four, so Ground, Steel, Flying Dragon, doing what we will. But so yeah, next time we'll prepare for the end fights. We can encounter Power Blissies again if we really want to, because that's just ham sandwich. We can overlevel. I'll overlevel. Like, let's face it, Masquerade is almost 70. Highest level of any of these Pokemon we're going to be fighting is probably Nemona's Quacklevola at 66. So inadvertent overleveling. Hooray! But, you know, that's part of the fun, you know? Sometimes being a light bit overlevel doesn't even matter if a Pokemon probably wouldn't survive anyway. Check out some of the other stuff on the channel if you decide to, like the Persona 5X stuff. I quite like it. It's actually not a bad game. I do hate gacha mechanics and all that, and I'm just waiting for there to be a child character for me to immediately have a mental breakdown over what the internet will do to them. But, you know, that's my mental state sometimes. I'm going to go and be in a colder room now. Maybe I'm going to go and find a walk-in freezer to walk into. Who knows? Point being though, I'll see you all next time.